question. As you know, there's a problem with the court system, and then we're gonna find out what's going on because modern women, they love bring men in court, but they hate child support. So as you can see, the case is considering a motion for repayment overpay for child support. And shout out to co-watcher. You can always give some love, subscribe, and then we're gonna see what the court said and we respond to it.
Arthur Robertson versus Brandon Chilton. Today is
The court will note the appearance of Ms. Greenleaf-Clore on behalf of the plaintiff. This matter is before the court on the plaintiff's motion for repayment of overpayment of child support. I've read the pleadings. Ms. Greenleaf-Clore is
So basically, it's about overpayment child support. How the court like they make that mistake? Oh, let me guess. Because the man is paying, so the man is paying. So it's no is too late to find out a mistake. But if the woman was paying, it's gonna be like, oh, she gotta pay the lowest possible, but as a man, they gotta pay the highest possible. How does that make sense? I don't know. We'll see.
there anything else you have to add?
The only other thing I have to add, Your Honor, is looking back at the documents, the calculation, first of all, Ms. Chilton is an intelligent woman. She knows how child support works. The child support calculation that was giving her so much child support had her income at $15,000 per year. When we recalculated child support, the child support was at $50,000 per year.
Jesus Christ, that's not even mistake. That's 3 times. Oh la la. From 15K to 50K. This is ridiculous. That's 3 times the amount. And they think and they wonder why men don't want to have kids anymore. They wonder why men don't want to have a family with women anymore. Because you gotta pay 50K instead of 15. That's why sometimes guys need to have a lawyer and then figure things out and have a prenup. Even the prenup can touch that. As a lawyer, at least gotta go through the finances and then figure things out. But they are unfair. Again, it's a man problem. Suck it up because you're a man. You can go to work and then she got collected. Even though it's 3 times the amount you should pay, you gotta be a man. And then if he didn't pay, he can go to jail. So who's really focusing on the amount? Who's really there's somebody that's go over it and then we calculate the number. It's only one person, whatever they say goes, and then that's a case closed, and then the man has to be paying 3 times the amount. For how many years? Who knows? This is ridiculous.
For Ms. Chilton's income. And that was what it was recalculated on. There's no way that Ms. Chilton knew, or there's no way that she did not know that child support shouldn't have been at that level that it was at. And I don't know that is at that's not up for debate today because it's already been modified. But at this point, my client's kind of stuck where he's overpaid child support for years, essentially, to Ms. Chilton, but he has no way to get any of that child support back. And as our motion indicated, he tried to pursue this. It didn't come back. And I think what we need to do is we probably need an order from this court with how this is supposed to get paid so that if he does need to, he can pursue collection action. Thank you, Your Honor.
So another way you pay that's their mistake. They give the wrong amount and the guy bring the court to pay a repayment because they being falsely for the number, and then he come to court to ask for a refund. What they say, nope, it's a mistake, we're not gonna give back that money. And then they trying to quick poke road, they're trying to reverse that on that woman to the mother. They said the mother shouldn't even expected that amount. She knows that amount should be lower, but well, why you expected? You made that mistake. That's not on her. Everyone will take that advantage. And then you ask her, like, she will know. How can she knows? Because you're the one who fix the numbers. You're the one come up with that number. Of course, she'll be happy to get more. Again, it's mother woman. They're not gonna say everyone would take advantage of that. But at the end of the day, it's the court system that the mistake and don't give him no repayment. And I bet you, if they say that for those amount of time for 2 years, don't pay child support, and then that will be fine for the court, they're not gonna do that. But they're gonna say, well, since we made a mistake, the next pay child support, you're gonna pay the exact amount that we had previously. So nothing to fall behind because everything that you spent earlier or previously is not gonna come back to you. That's where the system is. That's why we spend money from the system to screwing over child support, paying more than 3 times more than supposed to be 50K to 15, and then they wonder why men don't trust the court, why men don't trust women, and why men trust their own way. This is ridiculous at this point.
Thank you. Ms. Chilton, what's your response?
Um, Good morning. At the time when this was calculated, as I presented to the court, I was only working part-time, and the order was based on that part-time work ending in that summer of June or whenever that school year ended. And again, as I put in my answer, that I was not going to be working over the summer because I was going to school. And then once I went back to work in August, which I did have a full-time job at that time. That is when I submitted the documentation to the child support court that I was, in fact, earning more money. So I did submit documentation. I didn't understate any income. We had to submit documentation to the court at that time to prove my income at that time. And so I don't feel like it is at my fault that that the child support stayed in that way. Once I submitted documentation to the court of my full-time employment, it had not changed, so I took it back to the court. I submitted it twice, as you will see in the documentation and supporting evidence that I did submit this documentation to the court twice. So I submitted, I did everything that I knew to do. I was not trying to be deceiving in any way. I submitted the information that I had that I knew that I needed to submit, and that income was based on him.
She can file for unemployment, and also they never ask for the how much that's really she gonna contribute for the child, but all they always gonna focus on the main money. So leave it to that. So now the man has to pay extra for that amount. Now she sent a document that she's gonna go to work and then she get extra income. That's an honest woman. At least I give her that credit because most of the women not gonna do that. So she sent the report saying I'm working, I got extra money now, so you need to reduce that child support. The government is like, well, nope. It's gonna take more time for us, to figure that out because at the end of the day, they're not on a rush to fix that, you know. But they're on a rush to put that guy on child support, but they never in a rush to fix the number or change the number because at the end of the day, that money that come out of their pocket, and they don't want to cut that loose. They want to take slowly process to cut it happen. But I admire for what she does. She took a big step, and I give her applaud for that. And I admire what she did.
That caused him to make less. So the recalculation, I'm not sure where the $50,000 is coming from, but again, I was not working prior to that due to COVID. And then I started working part-time. And the child care that I was asking to be paid for at that time was not being paid for. So that's when the child support came up, because he wasn't meeting his obligation that we had agreed upon.
Okay. Well, in this particular case, I'm not going to address the issue of the amount of support because that was changed and it's already been resolved. I understand the arguments, but it would be inequitable to charge the plaintiff an amount, and again, it would in essence have him paying over $7,000 that he should not have had to have paid had it been calculated at that correct amount at that particular time. So
Another way, the judge said that, well, I'm not gonna argue which fault is that. if you pay extra, so that's your problem, you figure it out. But at my point of end, so we come in with a different number. So either you come gonna pick it up and then keep moving forward, you're gonna pay that amount, but the previous amount is already passed, it's literally passed, and then move on. That's basically what he said. So basically, screw you because it's your mistake. So basically, the court is not gonna refund you for that amount. And then if you want that amount back, we're not gonna do that because it's on the past. And then sorry, not sorry for taking the time to fix that income. So since we fix it before the verdict, before we meet in, so now we fix it. So we got on tape that we fix it. So you cannot hold it against us. So we fix it before we have the hearing. That's all basically they said. Which is basically they said that, well, thank you for letting us know, and thank you for the extra money, and then now you got to keep moving forward. That's the
The court
government.
is going to grant the motion for the repayment. Screenly Court, what I'm going to do is order that the amount of $6,891 would be repaid over the same term that it was collected. So if it was collected over, I think you said over 12 months, then that would be repaid over 12 months. If it was longer, I just don't know based upon the pleadings that are filed over what time that was collected. So I'll simply order that you can figure it out when it was collected and then have the repayment over the same term.
Your Honor, so just to clarify, dating back, so the court backdated support to March of 2022. Are you saying March of 2022 to today would be the repayment period?
No, I'm saying the time that he paid the overpayment, that the repayment would be over the same term.
So basically, another way the judge said that, well, we gotta go back to, that's another couple months that the guy gonna still paying. We're gonna go back by the time that she submitted the document. That's one of the time when she start working, but when the time when she submit that document, and then we're gonna figure from that time to today to give them that money back. And then if that time that we take that time process to figure it out, if it was that 6 month, we just figured him out. So basically, he be paying overtime. We're gonna take a 6 month for him to get that money back. But if the process was 3 months, we're gonna take 3 months. If the process was a year, you're gonna take a year to get that money back. But the matter is, it take 3 years or a month for them to figure that mistake. That's the problem. When you change your job, you gotta fill out the form, send it over. It take about 2 to 3 weeks for them to receive it. It about 2 to 3 weeks again to put it in the system. It take about 2 to 3 weeks again if you go to the court to plead it. So basically, it takes at least 3 months for, 4 to 6 months for a guy. If you have to pay $6,000 for the court system,